Good day everyone. I am Arjay Tibalan and Group 7. I am discussing lesson 24 which is electronic commerce and retailing. Retailing is expected to change with the rapid development of new sales and distribution channels that literally can be used from anywhere, anytime from work, school, a hotel, car, or airplane. These developments should impact retailing as much as the advent of strip malls, catalog retailing, and TV-based home shopping. Reacting to the pressure of retailers, suppliers are assessing technology-based solutions to drive down costs and become more efficient producers of goods. Online channels such as online services and web are also impacting traditional retail business models. Here the retailer goes to the customer instead of the reverse. Um, Next is the retailers need to consider the following issues in developing business model. First is the product content issues. What kind of product are suited for the online retailing? Next is the software interface issues. What kind of features will constitute an effective interface? Next is the process issues. What are the specific steps in the shopping process from consumers' perspective? Next is the pricing issues. How much will consumers willing to pay for convenience? Next is the payment issues. What payment method would consumers use for online purchases? Last is the market penetration issues. Would an online channel be popular with consumers? Next is the changing retail industry dynamics, or important factors that affecting the retailing industry dynamics are: first is the overbuilding and excess supply. Next is the change in consumer demographics, which more premium place on efficient of time. Next is the changes in consumers' behavior with less focus on brand name and more on lowest prices. Last is the technology improvements that provide greater convenience and more information than traditional retail. Next is the overbuilding and excess capacity. With online retailing, constraints of time and space disappear. It can severely affect companies that have invested in expansion and adding capacity. Inadequate productivity both per worker and per unit of space is reducing profit margins. Overbuilding also resulted in a growing shortage of lowest cost or low cost entry level workers for the retail industry. Last is the clearly with crowded domestic markets and competition constantly grinding away and operating profit, new ways of retailing and being exploded by forward-thinking companies. Next is the demographic changes. Shopping patterns are beginning to change with the increase of time strapped to career couples and the aging of America. Recent retail data shows a decline in amount of time Americans are spending in shopping malls. The reasons vary: time constraints, safety concerns, and growing frustration with the lack of courteous service and insufficient product information. As technology improves, it may not belong before driving to the store gives way to online shopping with home delivery and constraints. There is growing segment of the popular for home time constraints are less of a problem, retailers will need to concentrate on value by offering new product mixes that include not only merchandise but also bundles in entertainment and recreation, shopping with movie theaters, restaurants, bookstores, libraries, and community meetings facilities. Next is the consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is more volatile than ever before, and companies need new ways of responding to consumer needs and satisfy demand. Retailers provide consumers with a very large selection of producers priced with deep discount like power centers, discount malls, discount stores, and catalog shopping. Consumers are no longer as influenced by brand names as they used to be. Retailers that are focused on providing value, the best price, service, and selection will be successful. And these are the technology improvement in electronic retailing. First is the shopping mall, which is these include under one roof general merchandise, drug stores, and groceries department stores. Next is the super center. This consists of 3 or more anchor stores with a total leasable area between 2,000 and 7,000 square feet. Next is the factory outlet mall. These primarily stock name brand manufacturers items. These are growing in stature and popularity as well. Like power centers, factory outlet malls are also gaining market share at the expense of shopping malls. Last is the warehouse club. These are retailers offering common consumer products at near wholesale prices when purchased in bulk quantities. Examples include Walmart's, some club, Fry's or Costco, and BG's wholesale. And these are the three dominant forms of electronic retailing channels. First is the television retailing, second is the CD-ROM retailing, and the last is the online service base. First, let's talk about television retailing. Television retailing is the breadth and the reach of TV retailing are amazing. Unlike online audiences, which tend to be predominantly affluent and well-educated, the target audience for television retailing is to moderate-income households and mostly women. The TV retail marketing and programming are provided into segments that are televised live, with a show host who present the merchandise and the conveys information relating to the product, including price, quality, features, and the benefits. Next is the viewers place order for products by calling a toll-free telephone number. More recently, infomercials have become a crucial retailing topic. Modern filming techniques and ingenuity make it possible to create high-quality, cost-efficient, and entertaining documentaries that sell. Second one is the CD-ROM-based shopping. Relatively inexpensive to produce and distribute, CD-ROMs represent a cost-effective alternative to traditional print catalogs. The crucial business ideas behind catalogs is threefold: build a name and brand recognition for the stores and manufacturers, help determine store expansion plans by using the catalog as a prospecting tool, and develop inventory control mechanism that reduce excess capacity by creating alternative distribution avenues. However, there are several disadvantages to the medium. The most obvious being that not everyone has a ROM drive. Once a disk is created, it cannot be updated. The third one is online-based shopping, or online retailers can be divided into four major groups. Retailers that operate offline stores getting their feet wet with online storefronts. Retailers such as catalogers who are concerned with new web-based method of catalog retailing. Next is New Age. Retailers that do not currently operate retail business but they understand how this new medium can revolutionize shopping. The fourth one is retailers are increasingly looking toward the web as a retail outlet because of its reach, constant innovation, and low cost. Online shopping can be delivered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. The intriguing aspect of online retailing is the emergence of companies that only exist online. Next is the online retailing success stories, or the example is the PayPad experience. This is an online retailing. PayPad, based in Evanston, Illinois, is using the online medium for food retailing services. PayPad was founded on the idea that people do not want to go to the grocery store. It allows comparison shopping based on price, nutritional content, fat, or calories. Other features include electronic coupons, retailer preferred customer discount, and other benefits like recipes, tips, information, and home delivery service. How does PayPad works? PayPad provides customers with home shopping services via PC. Customers need to buy a software application that enables them to access PayPad database through an online computer service. Using the PC, a consumer can access all the items in a grocery store and drugstore. Customer can request a list of items by category, by item, by brand, or even by what is on sale in the store on a given day. Within categories, they can choose to have the item arranged alphabetically by brand or sorted by lowest cost per ounce, package size, unit price, or nutritional value. Customer can also create repeated use shopping lists. PayPad back office is linked with the mainframe database of the supermarket at which it shops for its consumers or customers, allowing it to provide the supermarket stock, keeping unit, and shelf prices electronically to its customers. Once consumers have made a selection, they can give specific shopping instructions, such as substitute with same calories or red grapes only. They can click on the comment button and type in extra information they would like the PayPad shopper to know. At any time during the order, consumers can subtotal the amount purchased or access the help screen of immediate assistance. What is the business model? Rather than automating the trip to retail store, as other online providers are doing, PayPad is using interactive technology to change the shopping experience altogether. They provide access to customers and make their money by buying on deals, volume discount, and getting cop advertising. PayPal makes all of its money on the customers it serves. It is a mass customizer. Please start. And that's all. Thank you for listening. And please subscribe to channel. Thank you, Bob.
Good evening everyone, we are from group 7 and our lesson is lesson 24 to 26. Topic outlines. Topic publishing strategies. Early movers, watchers, testers. The publishing intermediation approach. The dynamic and just-in publishing approach. Electronic commerce and online publishing. The web may have blossomed because of peer-to-peer publishing, but judging from recent product offerings, there is an enormous groundswell of interest among both commercial and corporate publishers in the web. For instance, it was reported that in less than 3 months, the Wall Street Journal Interactive Edition attracted 500,000 registered readers on the web, and that number of growing by some 3,000 readers per day. Also, the electronic edition has attracted more than 30 advertisers paying to reach this audience. Initially, growth in online publishing marketplace was driven by the potential of new interactive technologies and applications. The promise of new interactive publishing captured the imagination of both content providers and the public. However, the 1993 to 1995, much of online publishing was inhibited by a lack of business purpose. As the initial euphoria wore off, publishers realized that simply having a presence of web did not guarantee profits. They discovered that offering exciting technology without compiling content is insufficient to capture market share. These firms are learning that the best way to capture consumers' attention is to develop a business model that allows companies to offer unique and valuable information, programming, and services. This content, no matter how it is delivered, must be packaged so that it provides more value than alternative source of information. The key is to identify what the customers want and finds interest and to avoid being distracted by new technologies. Publishers need to pay more attention in their core competency of packaging and delivering content and making money online. These are tricky but necessary conditions to successful online publishing. The early online publishing pioneers are trying to accomplish a different feat. Newspaper and magazine publishers, some of the first to stake their claims on the internet, are tinkering with a new advertising model for their fledgling websites. In general, mainstream advertisers have been sticky about pumping money in a medium with an audience whose size and habits are nearly impossible to figure out. As a result of relatively low ad revenues, none of the web publishers have turned a profit. While ad revenues are not coming close to covering expenses now, they could have grown substantially in coming years as the traffic increases and brand names become established. Online publishing strategies. As with any new development, there are generally 3 strategies and publishing companies to consider. These are highly skilled independent publishers with existing access to such as capabilities as direct marketing and order fulfillment. These publishers have the capacity to derive the highest benefits from new media as their learning curves as much as shorter than others, and they already have many of the necessary resources at hand. Watchers. These are large publishing companies that employ skill-sensitive economics. They are unlikely to view online publishing as a sufficiently attractive channel until costs fall and distribution widens. This category includes publishers of unbranded or less distinctive content who cannot attack a sufficiently large initial consumer's franchise, as well as focused publishers in categories not easily suited for the online medium. Testers. There are the majority of publishers that face either attractiveness or skill challenges. Gathered here are many multi-category and specialty publishers who are competing successfully in traditional market, who are uncertain who will win in the marketplace, and who neither need or want to make a choice now. Testers also include branded general publishers with robust consumer franchises and attractive distribution channels already in place. For this group, the online medium appears to be an alternative. Testers. Content, incentives, services, quality, and price will not be enough to compete this new environment. Speed of delivery, bundling of products, and diversity of choice also become critical success factors. Publishers will have to innovate constantly and challenge present concepts if this form of commerce is to become widely accepted and popular. Winning in online publishing will entail developing new skills and areas such as tailored advertising, order processing and fulfillment, and customer service, as well as relearning the fundamental principles concerning why people subscribe. Online publishing approach. There are main constructing content publishing approaches. The online archive approach. This is the new to the web, but it is logical extension of the trend in electronic delivery over the past several years. The new medium approach. This is more controversial and more difficult to implement, but also more exciting. The publishing intermediation approach. This is an online extension of the third-party publishing role offline. The dynamic and just-in approach. This is approach content and symbol in real time and transmitted in the format best suited to the user's taste and preferences. The online archive approach. The online archive approach, including bibliographic databases and full text search retrieval services, is one that appeals to corporate publishers and to some extent commercial publishers such as academic or journal publishers who had an existing digital archive that they want to deliver over the web as well as on paper, CD-ROM, or other media. The most prevalent example on online archive approach is library catalogs and bibliographic databases. Most libraries are replaced traditional card catalog with sophisticated electronic online bibliographic database offering an incredible range of functions. The new medium approach. The new medium approach, including real-time news delivery, personalized news delivery, and edutainment, aims to create new materials for the web to treat the web as its own medium, one deserving its own material. This approach will have the most appeal to the commercial print publishers, such as magazines that view the web as an alternative, not a replacement. For print publication, for example, Wired magazine sees very little crossover in content between its magazine and its hardwired venture. Some writers may have write for both media, but separate content streams will be developed for each medium. The publishing intermission approach. The publishing intermission approach, including online directories, exploit new service opportunity for intermediaries. For example, in a growing market of educational materials such as course, packs, and other customized books. Companies offering materials owned by more than one publisher face during daunting task of obtaining permissions. New organizations that specialize management of copyright clearance are emerging as key players. The dynamic and just-in-time publishing approach. Online content is no longer static information. Content can be created in real time and transmitted on the fly in the format base suited to the user's location, taste, and preferences. More importantly, the content engine recognizes repeat visitors to a site and configures the web pages to match individual known preferences. For example, a publisher is planning to deploy a large product catalog will no longer have to author and update each individual web page. Instead, the elements of each page text, graphics, video, and sound are stored separately in database and used to create individualized pages on the fly as each user browses the site. The page content can be further customized to reflect which web browser is being used, the user's geographic location, and modem speed. Thank you for listening.
So, I am Elvira Bactong and I am going to discuss lesson 26, which is advertising and online publishing. So in this lesson, you will learn what is shorter access time, reduced access fees, increasingly convenient access to information, increasingly valuable information, better measurement of advertising effectiveness, web advertising measurement, hit, qualified hits, visit, unique users, standard impressions, ad click, and digital copyrights and electronic publishing, online copyright protection method, controlling web server access, controlling document access, and controlling use of the work. So what is advertising and online publishing? So with the intention of attracting advertising dollars, magazines and newspapers, they have also set up sites on the web. So many periodicals, online periodicals include traditional advertisements as well as icons which display an advertiser's logo, and if the user click with a mouse, it sends across the web to the advertiser's website. So among periodicals that have gone from print to online advertising with some degree of advertising success, there are 5 reasons why advertising spending is expected to increase. The first one is the shorter access times. So as more bandwidth becomes available, users will spend a larger proportion of their time on the websites and a smaller proportion waiting to access them. So with more valuable to draw users' attention, advertisers should be willing to pay more per user to place their icons in online periodicals. Shorter access times also enable increasingly complex graphics to be placed on websites without requiring additional access time. So this should draw to the web advertisers who may have been concerned that the current graphical quality was insufficient. The next one is reduced access fees. So in reduced access fees, new internet users will be attracted by reduced access fees. So with part of the reduction covered by advertisers, the cost of the access fee itself can be shared by an advertiser pays for the access time used when accessing online yellow pages. Next is increasingly convenient access to information. As the amount of information online increases, it should be increasing important for advertisers to get users to their sites quickly, so the advertisers leads to pay more for placement in online periodicals. Next is increasingly valuable information. Product descriptions can be enhanced through online advertising. So with more information available, the decision to purchase should be easier and more purchases should occur, so assuming that the product is desirable. So this should boost the appeal of the web and increase the rates that advertisers should be charged for placing their icons in an online periodical. Next, better measurement of advertising effectiveness. Product advertising is far more effective if it leads to a purchase. So if online advertising encourages users to shift a portion of their purchases to the web, then companies may pay far more to advertise. So however, a measurement system will not be useful until number 1, an online publisher can use it to determine advertising rates and the appeal of its articles. And number 2, an advertiser can use it to justify the cost of promoting a website, maintaining a website, and a placing site link icon in an online page. Now let's go to web advertising measurement. The first one is the hit. So hit is an entry into the log file of a web server, generated by every request for a file made to that server. So the number of hits has no predictable relation to the number of visitors in a website. Because, for example, a single page with 10 small icons will register 10 hits in a log file for each icon. Next is the qualified hits. Qualified hits are hits that deliver information to the user. So this includes such things as errors or error messages and redirects, and does not indicate the number of visitors. Next is the visit. So visit is the gross number of occasions on which a user looked up the site. This is a sequence of hits made by one user at a site within a set period of time. So it does not indicate whether visitors are digging into the site's content or just skimming only. Next is the unique user. So the number of individuals who visit a site within a specific period of time. So it is calculated by recording sum of user registration or identification. Next is the standard impressions. The standard impressions is the number of times an internet surfer sees an ad banner but does not click on it to connect to the advertiser's website. Next is the ad click. So the ad click is the number of times users click on an inline ad, or commonly called a banner, within a certain period of time. So it does not measure of effectiveness of an ad. So let's now go to digital copyrights and electronic publishing. So in digital copyrights and electronic publishing, we have here the intellectual property rights, or copyrights, trademarks, and licenses. So it is an important asset possessed by the publishers in their respective markets. Why? Because protecting intellectual property rights and collecting dues from online users is proving to be quite challenging. So the scope and the magnitude of the problem is clear, and the potential of online copyright infringement vastly surpasses the damage can be inflicted with a photocopy machine. So anyone with a computer can make and distribute countless copies of anything digital, be it a book or a TV or computer program or a piece of music. So even worse, the digital version can be sent to friends or even a bulletin board system for downloading by anyone with a modem. Next is online copyright protection methods. So we have two methods here for online copyright protection. So unauthorized access to published content can be restricted by two methods. First one is the restricting access to the source of the work. So this includes controlling web server access or controlling individual document access. The next one is the restricting manipulation of the electronic file containing the work. To further explain, we have here the controlling web server access. So controlling web server access. So nearly all information providers, including commercial online services such as America Online and Dial-Up, private bulletin boards, not only control access to their systems but also to it vary depending on the information a user wishes to access. So access to certain data is conditioned on paying a higher fee and having greater access rights. Next is controlling document access. So a second level of control can be exerted through measures tied to the electronic file containing the work. One type of restriction can be implemented through rendering or viewing software. Such systems require a proprietary or unique file format that can be read only by certain software and is developed or controlled by the information provider, or software that incorporates both a control measure to prevent viewing or use of the work without authorization from the information provider and manipulation functions to permit the user to view or use the work. And lastly will be the controlling use of the work. So hardware and software placed in personal computers can provide protection against unauthorized uses of copyrighted works. So for instance, for example, the Audio Home Recording Act requires circuitry in digital audio recording devices and digital or audio interface devices that controls serial copying, but label the copies it makes with the codes to restrict further copying or disallow copying. So the serial copy management system implemented this circuitry allows unlimited first generation copying digital reproduction of originals but prevents further digital copying using those reproductions. So that's it.